Our next guest says there are 5 things you should know before starting your own business, and losing your job is not necessarily a good reason to start your own company. Here now is business strategist Carol Roth, and thank you so much for joining us. You are an advocate of entrepreneurship, but you say it's not for everybody.
Correct.
And if you lose your job, as so many Americans have in the last year or two, what's wrong with taking the initiative and the risk and trying to start your own company?
Well, if you think about when you start a job, Allison, you have so many things going on that you haven't really prepared to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
And so much about entrepreneurship is preparation. It's understanding the myths. It's doing the homework up front, and it's making sure that you've done everything you can to stack those odds in your favor so that you don't create the perfect storm of business failure.
Okay, so what are the 5 things we need to know before starting our own business? Number 1, should I be an entrepreneur? Ask yourself that question.
Yes, you should absolutely ask yourself if you should be an entrepreneur. First thing you need to know is not can I, but should I?
Okay.
Is this a risk that makes sense given the potential rewards? And that's where so many people fail. You know, there are up to 90% of new businesses that will fail over the first few years. 60% don't earn a profit over a lifetime. And at the end of the day, a lot of times that risk trade-off doesn't make any sense.
Right. So what are some of the common myths about business ownership?
There are so many myths about business ownership. I'm glad that you asked that question. So the first myth is if you really love to do something, you're going to get to do more of what you love. And that is absolutely not the case. Your job when you run a business is, you know what, to run a business. So if you like to make cookies or make jewelry or even do graphic design, you know what you have to do? You do a little bit of that, but then you have to do accounting, you have to do marketing, you have to do customer service, you have to do all of these other things as well.
Right.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, you actually spend less time doing what you love, and just because you're good at it doesn't mean you're going to be good at running a business. You know, another one of my favorite myths is that you get to be your own boss.
How is it? I mean, if you're running the business, how are you not the boss?
You are absolutely not. If you think about a normal job, you may have a half a dozen people that you respond to, that report to, that have any say over what you get paid, what you do on a day-to-day basis. Do you know how many people you have to report to when you have your own business? Every single customer and every potential customer. So now you have hundreds, thousands, or if you're lucky, millions of people that you need to report to that all have their own agendas. Plus, if you have lenders, they can be your boss. If you have a landlord, they can be your boss. If you've got a franchise parent company, they can be your boss. So you actually end up at the bottom of the totem pole, whereas if you have a job, you have some upward mobility there.
That's true.
Yes.
And you know what? I never thought of it like that.
I know, most people don't.
The bank would definitely be the boss.
Absolutely.
So, Carol, is there any way that we can stack the odds of success in our favor before trying a business venture?
Absolutely, Allison. You know, I always say if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. And so it really goes to putting the preparation towards being an entrepreneur. And the first couple of things have to do with getting some experience. You can do this in a couple ways. One, you can actually test the job out on the side. The business out on the side. You can take some money, put a budget together, and then try it out. See if it's something that you, first of all, that you like, because sometimes when it's not shiny and new anymore, it's not so much fun.
Right.
And also see if it's viable. See if it's something that really can become a business. So you do it on the side. The other thing is to really go out and just get some experience on nights and weekends. I had a lovely woman who came to me who said, I want to open a fast food franchise. And I said, you know, have you ever worked in the restaurant industry before? And she said, no. I said, I'll tell you what, nights and weekends, go work for a couple months, see if you're any good at it, see if you can get yourself promoted. She came back a few weeks later and said, God, I absolutely can't stand this.
Yeah, good
and I
to
said,
know.
well, you know, she almost spent 6 figures to go ahead and do this. And now she had the opportunity to test it out and realize it wasn't for her. So I would say,
good point.
yeah, do those kinds of preparations.
You know, one of the things that you and I talked about before is maybe while you have a full-time job, just trying out, your own business
Absolutely.
on the side.
Absolutely.
That can help lead to success.
It does, and as long as you put that budget together so that you're not spending, $20,000, $30,000 on inventory while you're testing it out, do it on a small scale, and then again, you can see if it's something that you like over time, you can see that if it's something that you're good at, and you can see if it's something that's viable. If only
If
your
it's gonna work.
right, if only if your friends and family are like, yeah, okay, I'll give you the courtesy few bucks,
Right.
you know that
That's
might not
not
be
it.
a
Right.
good business long term.
Well, Carol Roth, thank you so much for your expertise and for coming in. And for more information and to take Carol's entrepreneur assessment called Fired Up, I like this, go to her website, carolroth.com.